So we were looking at our heights of 45, 57, and 65. And that we were substituting them in place of this piece right here, where we can set 45 equals 45 plus 25t minus 16t squared, right? And I feel like a lot of us also figured out to get everything onto one side so we could quadratic formula it. So minus 45 to both sides gave us 0 equals 25t minus 16t squared. Which, yeah, you absolutely could quadratic formula this. Just be careful because this is your a right here, this negative 16, and your b right here. Our c is 0. You could also factor this one because they have a t in common. So we'll have 0 equals t and 25 minus 16t. You could totally do it that way and solve it this way to get roots at 0 and wherever this guy equals 0. Both work. Both get you to valid answers.
I get the t away from.
We factored.
Oh,
Yeah, we can factor from here to here. So, then my question is, do we hit a bird or a pig that's at height of 45? Did we get a valid answer? Or do we get a valid answer? Yeah, we do. It'll hit that bird. Will it hit a pig? I keep saying bird. Will the bird hit the pig at height of 57? Do we get a valid answer here? When we substitute 57 in for the height, did we get a solution? Which is what we would have wound up with is if we scooch it around, we should have wound up with negative 16t squared plus 25t minus 12. And if I substitute those into the quadratic formula, we get icky things, right? The calculator says an error because we wind up with an imaginary root because there's no real roots. So we have to be really careful with this. Make sure before we plug it into the quadratic formula, we have everybody on the same side. So if we have no real roots, is it going to hit a pig at 57 height? Nope. If it doesn't hit 57, is there any chance of it hitting 65? No. So all three pigs can't hit this one. Or all three birds can, or the one bird cannot hit all three pigs. Logistically, doesn't make sense anyway. You could theoretically hit all pigs on the same path at some point, but not going to be this one. So let me show you why. Okay. Here's our pig flight. Bird flight. I keep getting those nouns backwards. Here's our bird flight. This is our equation right here. I could absolutely, I see my fancy schmancy art skills, hit a pig at 45. Pig. That looks like a cat demon, but whatever. If I had a pig at 57, which is somewhere between 55 and 56, that's not going to work. That looks like an alien, but whatever. I'm not an artist. Let's see. So if I had, even if it was right here at the vertex, there, that's less bad. Tiny, but less bad. And 65, I got no hope of hitting all the way up here. So another option with these is to try and graph them and see if it fits. They don't tell us our distance, so we could theoretically find a parabola that would hit all three. I could find something that does this. So the second question, could all three pigs be hit on the same trajectory? Yeah, they could. It's just not this one. Okay. So solving is used to figure out these kinds of incidents, these kinds of solutions. The when is it going to hit? We could find a solution. I could figure out at what t this happened. I could bring it down here, say it's going to be somewhere between 1 and 2. I could figure it out exactly by solving, using our quadratic formula, using the solving by factoring, any of the things. We could find that exact value. The third question, or the very bottom question, I encourage you to take a peek at, but honestly, it's a little nasty. That's like the super hard question. Okay? So, more important for us is to notice that we can substitute in different y values in order to find solutions. So we substitute in different y values to try and find solutions, okay? Because homework 2, or homework 6, 7, whatevs. The next homework is very similar to this. So, let me see where it is on the calendar. I think it's going to be like Friday, but you can probably honestly start looking at it. So finish up the page 104 homework, which is this one, the 2 squares, if you didn't. And homework 6 is page 105, plus graphs, because it doesn't have the graphs listed on there. But you can use that to kind of help practice this. So if you want to, yeah, page 105 plus graphing is continuing to practice this solving stuff. You guys have a little more than 10 minutes left, so if you've not done the page 104 homework yet, you should. Please do homeworks. It's easy points. At this point, because of the number of homeworks we had, each homework assignment is about 1% of your grade. So if you're like, I'm at a 78, I'd really like to be at a B, do 2 homework assignments and you're up. Okay? Right now, each homework assignment, based on the number we've had, is 1 percentage point of your grade. 10 points. Like, they're not hard. Do the homework! Do the homework! Okay? You guys have time. Right now. More than 10 minutes. Do things. So you're going to solve this in whatever ways you can think of. You can either square root both sides, you can multiply out the right side and combine some like terms, to factor things. Like there's a bazillion different ways for you to do this. I think I came up with 4 different ways to do it. So you can do whatever you want. Did you catch the notes from yesterday? Yeah, these ones. Yeah. So it's kind of doing like these things. So you can do it this way that we did it here, or we do it this way that we did it here. We combined everything together on one side, kind of like what we did today. Scooch everything to one side and factor it, or you can solve it. So there's a bunch of different options there. Okay. So this B, A, and this one is B. So you'd have to, in order to do A and C, you'd have to multiply the whole thing out, like with a box. Like, so in order to do A and C, we'd have to do this guy, where we multiply out our 2x minus 9 squared. So it's 2x minus 9 times our 2x. And multiply it out. Okay? That is an absolutely valid way to do that. Okay. Mm-hmm.
See the weather. She said next week. Time for the shorts. Yeah, next year. Get near. It's time to buy my shit. Need to know X. Yeah, wearing taxes. I need to get other body.